What's up? Welcome to Developer Semicolon. Today, we're diving into how to create smarter and sleeker checkout experiences. I'll drum on my table with finesse and Jet the editor, at some point in the video, will make pigs fly. Enjoy. In the last video, I built a bread shop to show why custom checkout rules matter. And yes, I did build a full e-com shop that sells loaves of bread. That's what I did, because why not? I also have been told that I have been mispronouncing one of the breads where I was saying chala, but realistically it's a challah. And my English brain was like, yeah, you're killing it, dude, this is great. My Polish brain was in fact screaming because we have the same type of bread in Poland, and it's called a chałka. It's also a ch. So I don't know, man, I don't know. Anyway, how do we design better checkouts? And what are the things that we can do to spice them up, to make them even better, to make them even more sexy? And most importantly, to get your customers who are on your website not only satisfied, but also wanting more products, right? That's the one. All right, so let's look at a basic checkout and what a basic checkout might actually offer. Now here I'm on Wix Studio and I'm just going to create a new site and pick a studio template. Now studio templates are just templates that are already pre-built for you that you can use and edit. Now here I'm going to select an e-commerce tag because I want a site that's a store and a store offers a checkout, and that's exactly what we want. Maybe let's look at art prints in this case. So let's view those and actually go to the website, see what they have. So maybe let's go and shop all and pick a print to buy. This one right here, the orange one. So I'm going to select this product. I'm going to select the size. So let's go big. Add to cart. I'm going to view my cart. So I'm going to view my checkout. And as you can see, I have already been on this site because I added something to my cart. Clearly, I liked it a lot. And I have two items here. Now, as you can see, the checkout, it's somewhat limited. It shows the product. In this column, it shows the quantity of items, the total price for all those items in the row, the total price of the checkout, gives you some estimate delivery, gives you a function to enter a promo code, maybe add a note. This might be a little bit of custom functionality. This is what Wix Studio provides. But with most website builders out there, this is the type of checkout you would get. And realistically, you wouldn't get much more. And you're kind of stuck with what you have and you have to deal with it apart from changing how it looks, making it look all nice and pretty and suit your brand and so on and so forth. But what if you want to enhance this checkout for someone else? Do a little bit more, add some custom functionality, offer better shipping rates, give custom discounts, and make sure that the validation is correct. So the person actually picks an X amount of items based on the offer or something like this. This is where Wix Studio really shines, because what they provide for you is something called the developer mode. Now, I'm super excited about that because developer mode is great for developers and people who want to learn a bit of coding maybe. Now, you might be thinking, well, what is developer mode and how do I access it? Well, let's say that we want to edit this template and I actually want to go into Wix Studio and start changing things, right? And it's very, very well thought out. Now, as you can see, we've got the page that's loaded and we've got our left side navigation here. Now, as part of that navigation, you can change your layers, you can add new components and so on and so forth as part of any website builder that allows anyone to build a website. But what if we want to do more? Right at the bottom here, you have the code mode. And essentially as part of that, you can start coding. So you can extend your site's functionality with code. And that is exactly what we want because as a developer, I'm hyped, I'm excited. Now, as part of this, you can essentially edit anything on the page. But what we're interested in is the checkout experience. And we can access specific functionality for the checkout experience under backend and public. And something right at the bottom here is what glows to us. What is that shining star that we want to find? And it's called service plugins. Now, there is a bunch of different service plugins. Not necessarily all of them actually are tailored to a checkout experience, but some of them are. And I'm gonna walk through each one of them today of what you can do to enhance your checkout experience within Wix Studio, why you should do it, what it offers, and I'll give you some examples of sites that are out there that you will be familiar with, that you used before, that actually do this and make your experience much better. Number one, custom discount triggers. Now that's the one that we talked about and actually coded up in the last video based on the bread example. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you click here, I think. or here. Custom discount triggers. Well, those are triggers and those are functionality that you implement based on meeting specific conditions in your checkout. Now, this could be if you select a specific amount of items, or if you select items up to a specific price, or any other condition that you might want to apply. And then therefore you offer some kind of discount, some kind of reward to the user, some kind of extra that they might get. Now, this incentive essentially creates a feeling of reward for the customers. They want to be there. They want to buy more. They want to put the 4 types of different bread into the checkout to get that discount. You know, that's the kind of idea here that we're talking about. So this is very effective. And of course, this is a service provider within Wix Studio. Now, a real life example of this is a company like Sephora. They create these custom discount triggers saying, hey, well, if you spend $250 on this amount of makeup, for example, well, then we'll issue you a free kind of reward, maybe a free box, a free makeup set, and so on and so forth. Examples of custom discount triggers are literally everywhere in any checkout, and I'm sure you have come across one. Let me know if you have one that you thought was quite impactful. Number 2, additional fees. Now, this one is a good one. Now, this one is really powerful because you can use it in 2 ways. There's the good way and there is the bad way. Now, the good way is being very transparent. You're telling your customers about any additional fees they might encounter, whether it's different shipping costs, whether it's product packaging, whether it is anything extra that they might need. The bad side of it is that you could pre-select things for them and basically have control over their checkout. Now, you can build trust with this technique, reduce the surprises they might get. And one company that does this in real life is a company like Ryanair or Wizz Air. As you go through their tickets, they provide you with a very cheap price up front. And then suddenly, over the process of actually checking out and going up to actually pay, they'll give you more luggage, seat selection, insurance, car rental, hotel rental. And they essentially kind of upsell you, but they give you the fees. They provide you on the left-hand bar how much of the whole price is actual fees, whether it is tax, or whether it is like service fees. They tend to do it in a transparent way, but also in a way that upsells you things. Number 3. Shipping rates. Offering dynamic, transparent, very comprehensive shipping rates when someone is at the checkout and they want to understand even before they go later on of what the situation might look like with the items that they have bought. Well, obviously, being transparent and offering that information is great. Now, of course, this is also available as a service provider within Wix Studio, and you can add that functionality in the checkout to your specification. It doesn't have to be something that's already pre-written and you have to say yes to it. You write it, you control it, you use it the way you want. Now, shipping rates is usually a bit of a step back for a customer because it always appears as the next step in a checkout. And you're like, okay, well, I bought this item for $3. And then you go to the checkout and it's like, yeah, but $20 for shipping, unless you want to wait like 6 weeks and then we'll do it for free. And you're like, oh my God, this is so discouraging. Why would I pay so much for something that's so much cheaper? And you leave. But you can adjust that experience. Now, in this case with service providers, you can just edit that so it's visible before they go on to the next step. And then the next step, they can just pay. So really, you're making the checkout process easier, more transparency, more happy customers, more money. Number 4. Extra validation. Extra validations ensure that everything is correct. And as part of the checkout process, you don't want any errors or things happening or things not being correct and the package being sent somewhere else. So you need to pay extra attention to this. Now, extra validation ensures valid shipping addresses, payment details, and inventory checks. It prevents errors, returns, or delays, and essentially it creates a smoother experience for the customer. Now, a real life example of this is Apple, and they perform very, very strict address checks to make sure that the package does actually get delivered to the right person. And finally, number 5, item recommendations. Now, item recommendations is a very neat marketing trick because it actually starts to recommend items to you that are complementary to your purchase. It starts to recommend items to you that you've maybe looked at once or twice on that same page, and suddenly they're like, well, maybe you're still interested in this item. Now, what item recommendations also do is that they enhance the user journey at discovering the items that might be relevant to them. It just eases the process and therefore builds up more items in the cart for more kind of money to be made. Now, a company that does this really well is actually Amazon. Amazon gives you a lot of item recommendations. It gives you a lot of information once you're purchasing the item that previous customers who bought this item also bought other items. And realistically, the kind of marketing trick here can extend as far as you want to make it. And the great thing is you can make it with a service provider within Wix Studio and you can write that functionality. Now, by implementing some of these service providers, or all of them, into your checkout, realistically, you can build an amazing customer experience and really a great marketing machine for really increasing those sales and generating more revenue while offering better customer experience and more trust. Now, all of these tutorials of how to do this are linked on the Wix Studio website, so you can follow them and see how easily it is done. You can also check out my previous video where we actually write a custom service provider for custom discount triggers while trying to sell bread. And of course, the other thing you should do is you should subscribe to this channel if you want more videos on how to create better websites, work with Wix Studio, and, well, maybe make more money. I don't know. And on that note, I will see you in the next video.